I would say I'm much closer to secure than avoidant than I've ever been before. Now everything has shifted. It's like there is color everywhere, there are feelings. It is scary, it is new, but there's also happiness. And I feel really bad when I talk to someone who's avoidant now, because it reminds me of how I felt back then. Yeah, I don't understand how I went through all of these years feeling like that. It was just a brutal process. Oh my God.
You're experiencing the worst part of the transformation right now. You've still got an avoidant man's life, but you don't have an avoidant man's romance. This isn't even just avoidant man. This is a male trap right here. Welcome back to the I Wish You Knew podcast. I'm your host, Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. Today, I've got a very special guest coming back. In the comment sections, you begged me to bring this gentleman back because you loved him so much on the previous 2 episodes, and we've got an exciting update on his life that he's going to be sharing with us. Welcome back to the show, Kimmi the Avoidant. Kimmi, it is wonderful to talk to you again. You have been known as Kimmi the Avoidant in the comment sections for quite some time. Glad you're here. How have things been since I talked to you last?
No, thank you so much, Adam, for having me on again. It's truly an honor. I have been raving about you for a month. Everyone I talk to, I tell them how you have helped me in my life. And I would like to update the audience and tell them that I'm actually happy engaged now. So thank you, Adam.
Congratulations. I love this. How did you come to be engaged?
Oh, boy. Well, it was really crazy.
Good.
The last couple of times. Yeah, and my fiance, by the way, she saw the last 2 videos that you put out on the podcast. She loves watching them. I can't watch them, but she loves it. She has watched them multiple times, and she was very happy to kind of see me talk about my emotions and get the help from you. So it was really very helpful.
So when she wants to feel close to you and hear about your feelings, does she just watch the episodes about your feelings? Does that stop you from having to share your feelings again all over?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten much better now at sharing feelings. It's like a whole different world, but I still tell her that till this day, I'm emotionally a little baby that, I just don't have the skills yet at her level. So, I always tell her, bear with me. I'm trying to process this. It's foreign to me. It's new. It's nothing that I'm used to, and I'm not used to process these feelings in this way. So work with me on it. And we have been together now. I mean, in 5 days, we're going to be together 11 months, which is impressive.
Congratulations.
So thank you. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of makeups, a lot of everything. But it has been a tremendous journey. And with your help, I have reached out to you personally as well to figure out a lot of stuff that have been very hard for me to interpret, but that's worked out magnificently. We barely have any real issues anymore, like small stuff that, she would have some feelings, and I would try to, use the male brain and make sense out of what's happening to, if you remember, bring her back from La La Land. That comment really got me. I suffered for that comment in our last episode. It really killed me. You have no idea.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to come back. I really wanted to come back because not only, to talk to you and show appreciation and tell people about how helpful this is, but I also wanted to come back to talk to all the avoidants out there, men and women, and people who are with avoidance. I would like to, just share a little bit about how I felt when I was in that state. You explained attachment to me as if it's, let's say, a spectrum. Very few people are just, happy and securely attached all the time, and they don't suffer at all. Some have some avoidant tendencies, some are really avoidant, some are a little bit anxious. They can be a mix of multiple things. I would say I'm much closer to secure than avoidant than I've ever been before. thankfully, thanks to all of your help. So, not so long ago, I had the pleasure of talking to a lady who has an avoidant partner, and I got emotional because she was describing to me how he felt and the things he would say. And, it brought me back to, oh my God, I was so lonely. You can't imagine how an avoidant, how lonely they are. Like they can be around people, but they are so closed in, nothing comes through, and they're so lonely. It's really depressing. Like when I think about these days, it wasn't easy. I don't understand how I went through all of these years feeling like that. It was just like a brutal process. Oh my god.
Okay.
um, but yeah, I just, I think this is going to be a great episode. I'm very excited to come on here again. Thank you, Adam.
I'm glad to have you back. I want to tell you that as you're easing into this process, you probably are feeling about 50% of the goodness that you are going to feel at maybe, let's say, 1 year from when we started working together. You are only halfway of the goodness. Okay. You're not halfway on the work or the suffering or anything. Actually, the work is going to get less and less of a problem. It's going to take less energy. You're actually going to increase exponentially your growth, your love, your connection, your depth, and your satisfaction. That's going to continue to increase as you keep having these relationships. You said that you feel like an emotional baby with her. We can talk about the brain structure actually in avoidant men that's going to keep you stuck in that way for a bit. And then what you can do to compensate in a couple of areas. I can show you what to do with that as well. I'm very curious. How has your sleep been? Number one, and then when you're spending time sitting with your partner, I know you guys are in a different culture. You don't have a lot of physical contact prior to marriage, very different from America. But when you're enjoying an evening together with her and her family, maybe, or when you're taking a walk together and having those moments, are you able to relax into those moments, or is your brain still buzzing on you a little bit?
So the most difficult days where I don't have any sleep, it's when I'm alone working. Work days, these are the worst for me. But like for example, when I spend a day with her and her family, we're eating together, we're spending the entire night together, I go home and I sleep like a baby. And it's not just like exhaustion or anything like that. It's really that I can feel it. I can feel like this. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I'm floating in a sea, and it's just very freeing. I'm very comfortable. I'm having fun. I come home and I sleep like a baby, kind of catch up on sleep from the rest of the week, thanks to that like relief that I get from having all of these people around me, and it's a safe environment as well.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that it feels really exceptionally good. A lot of people, they say, I feel like I'm floating, almost floating in water. You said in a sea. Part of that is because the oxytocin comes in and shuts down any chronic pain you're experiencing. The wear and tear goes away. When you're floating in the water, same thing, because the gravity feels lower and your body is more relaxed. So with oxytocin, that love hormone, you're getting that sensation of my body doesn't hurt. I'm relaxed. It's not even heavy anymore. It's also, and you need to be aware of this, your oxytocin receptors, most of them have been shifted away from oxytocin. So you couldn't even receive oxytocin in them when you started this with her. You had maybe one or two, a couple little ones open for that, small blips of oxytocin. As you get more over time, you're going to experience even more oxytocin bonding when you're with her and her family. So that impact is going to increase. A lot of people report a feeling of pleasant warmth in their body, or easier breathing, warmth in their chest, light feeling in their chest, the vagus nerve letting go and relaxing, blood diffusing through your body instead of pulling, contracting into the core and your limbs feeling more cold or isolated. There's a lot of benefits here, but this is going to continue. You're going to continue making this improvement and feeling better physically, mentally, and emotionally. You said the hardest days, though, are while you're working by yourself. That tells me you probably don't have this level of oxytocin bonding with anyone besides her and her family. Are you compartmentalizing emotional contact to just her and her family and then pulling away and working alone in your dark little cubicle?
Yes, I do live far away, so I have to basically Monday to Friday, I'm alone. I don't know anyone here. I don't have like friends online, maybe at work, but like I don't have anyone around me. to spend time with. So it's work from Monday to Friday, as you know, all day long. There isn't really. I don't have kids. I don't have anyone else around me. And then in the weekend, like it's probably the first time in my life where I look forward to weekends because I know I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep really well. I'm gonna have that connection, and I enjoy not just time with her, but with her family as well. Like I really enjoy it, not just something I say.
Okay. Now, two things here. When the weekend hits and you get to her and her family, number one, do you have a hard time easing into them? Are you still buzzing and still stressed and you can't let go and it takes a while to let go? And number two, when you leave her and her family at the end of, let's say, Monday night, when you leave them on Sunday, by Monday night, are you crashing? Do you feel yourself coming off a cliff?
So I don't have a problem easing in when I meet them. I do have an issue with afterwards. It's like the most depressing trip ever. It's like an hour. I have to drive by car from their place to my place. Most depressing hour ever. And then I can't sleep. Like that, Sunday evening, I just can't sleep. I spend like hours trying to sleep.
I know that a lot of the people watching this show right now have had attachment issues for their entire life. That's why I want to invite every single one of you to check out my attachment repair program. It just might be the jump that you need to go from insecurely attached and lonely and frustrated to fully secure, connected, and bonded in a great relationship like nothing you've ever felt before. Check out my website, adamlanesmith.com, for the attachment repair program. I'm going to tell you a very short story. So I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're filming this podcast. I just flew my wife and my oldest son down for the first time, both of them together, to be with me for 3 days before this. And my son got to ride in the robot cars. My wife, we had all these cool adventures here for 3 days. And I just had to take them to the airport and drop them off. And it was such an enriching, deep, immersive bonding experience that when I said goodbye at the airport, he started crying and he couldn't stop like hugging me and kissing me. My wife started crying. Even I got a little bit of dust in my eye, as they say it for a moment. And it was this like, we're not ready to let go yet moment. And I had to give him a hug and then say, it's time to go up the escalator. You've got to go home. And I felt it like they left, and the drive back to my Airbnb and then opening it up and then just like standing there in the terrible silence, that was hard for me. Now, I'm a securely attached man. I got a wife. I got 5 kids. I have friends here. I'm here visiting people. I'm not alone. But even I felt that cliff, the oxytocin cliff, and the severing and the loneliness. We are supposed to be punished when we move away from our group, our tribe. We are supposed to be punished. There's a part in our brain that actually logs loneliness with danger. Now, avoidant men, the reason you haven't had this most of your life is in your brain, that part that logs loneliness as danger was turned off for the majority of your life. And that's part of also why you weren't getting the oxytocin connecting that you needed, because loneliness was actually protection. Your amygdala, the fear center, tagged closeness and intimacy with other people as a threat. You're in your prefrontal cortex, the judgment center of your brain. If it detects closeness and threat, it clamps down on your ability to express emotions, which is why right now you're telling your fiance, I'm feeling like a baby. I can't express emotions. Your brain is stopping you because it says, nope, that's a threat. Don't let me do it. And it prevents you. So you're actually swimming upstream trying to speak your feelings. You're hitting the cliff like I described, but you're hitting it even harder because you're physically alone 5 days out of the week. You're not meant to be doing that either. So what you're doing is you're experiencing the worst part of the transformation right now. You're feeling lonely. Your life hasn't caught up. You've still got an avoidant man's life, but you don't have an avoidant man's romance, if that makes sense. The life is what's killing you. There's a couple things we can do to fix that, but I also want to talk to you about some supplements. Do you take supplements? Are you open to anything like that?
What do I take? I take creatine.
Creatine.
Hey, better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Okay. So I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I can let you know what I have heard works for avoidant men. If I was an avoidant man, this is the stack I would be taking. It's also a stack that I take when I'm traveling because when I'm utterly alone in my hotel room, for 5, 6 days or whatever, I take this stack to supplement me and get all the love I should have from my 5 kids piling on me every night. I kind of need to supplement and feel good and get my rest. So, can I share a couple supplements with you that I think might help and why?
Please do.
Okay. So first of all, there is a supplement called taurine. Okay. Now most people understand taurine as something they put in Monster energy drinks because taurine levels off. It's a shock absorber. So they have to put that or your heart will rupture in your chest as you're drinking too much caffeine. So taurine, think of it like a shock absorption system for you. If you were to take, for example, 1,000 milligrams of taurine, for example, I'm not recommending it, but just as a thought, 1 or 2,000 milligrams of taurine, what that does is modulate the GABA in your system, GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid. It shuts down cortisol. So times when you would amp up into high stress inappropriately, I'm afraid of this intimacy is scaring me, this conversation scaring me. If you would amp up, the taurine will prevent you from amping up. So it will just keep everything calm and level out any shocks. It doesn't prevent you from focusing. It actually improves your focus because you're staying calm and steady in your sympathetic nervous system. This is going to keep your prefrontal cortex, the judgment center, the logical area online longer instead of sending you to the limbic system, which is massive fight or flight where you make inappropriate decisions. You'll feel like you're making better decisions, but you're not. It keeps your judgment center online. So taurine, really great. If you take it at night, it regulates your GABA, helps you fall asleep instead of amping up at any thoughts that you might have. Taurine levels you out. It also helps. It'll help you a little bit with the cliff when you're driving home. It'll help you from amping up too hard with stress or pain. It'll help you during the week to sleep much deeper. It'll help you fall asleep a lot easier. Another one is glycine or L-glycine. Glycine is similar to taurine. If taurine's the shock absorption, glycine just keeps everything mellow. It's like a heavy weighted blanket that lays on you that prevents you from doing too much. Again, it doesn't stop your mental clarity. Your actually mental clarity improves, but it prevents you from doing the things that would amp you up as much. So those moments where you feel like your brain's screaming at you, she wants to know my feelings, run and hide, get away, the things that make avoidant men dismiss, withdraw, glycine can help actually fight those urges to withdraw or pull away, and it can help you lean into the conversation. This is great because it will keep the speech center of your brain, Broca's area, more active so you can articulate emotions to her easier. It also will make that prefrontal cortex and the amygdala not tag emotional closeness as much of a threat. So then you won't have the inhibitory slam that prevents you from sharing your emotions. So taurine, glycine. Another one's going to be important for you if you don't take it. You take creatine. Magnesium glycinate is a really important one. As an avoidant man, if you're in your sympathetic and you're burning all the time, you're burning magnesium. It's what allows your thoughts to jump around and have high productivity and high reactivity as well. But if you don't get enough magnesium, and most people don't, then what's going to happen is you're going to get muscle aches throughout your body, twitches, tense, tightening. I have a really good avoidant friend who has an eye twitch constantly whenever he goes through projects or anything like that at work. Tense jaw, teeth grinding is from that tense jaw being held all night and then just can't stop. So the magnesium will help you sleep. It will also synthesize melatonin to sleep naturally. Most avoidant men have a hard time. They have massive insomnia. So magnesium glycinate is a really great way to pack that in as well every evening. If I could throw one more at you, I would throw L-theanine in there. So L-theanine does a number of things, but one thing that I happen to really like is when you spend that time with her and her family, it stimulates the production of oxytocin. That in turn stimulates the production of GABA. GABA suppresses cortisol, and then you're floating in that happy ocean of love. L-theanine, in a similar way, tricks your brain a little bit and pretends you got all that intimacy and warmth. So it floods you with proper GABA, not the way that alcohol does. Alcohol or a GABA supplement, they just shove artificial GABA into your system. This encourages you to produce your own natural GABA to suppress your cortisol and keep calm and steady. So if you want that floating feeling more often, L-theanine at night can really help you do that. And if I could throw one more at you, it would probably be ashwagandha. Ashwagandha gummies. Some people swear by it. Some people don't like it, but It's one of the most researched herbs on the planet. What it does is level out your cortisol overall anyway. If you take too much, it flattens your mood. But if you take enough, it just calms that stress mode so you can ease in. Now, if you take all of these, let's say 2 hours before bedtime every night, it's going to help you come out of stress and work mode. It'll help you transition over that about 45 minutes to an hour. It'll help you transition into a very restive state as if you've spent all day with somebody that you love and care about. And then at night, you will sleep the same way you do when you're with her and her family, even during the work week. Now, that's going to keep you massively productive. This is none of these are sedatives. If they make you crash, it's because your system's been running on cortisol and adrenaline, and that's not good. But these are non-sedative pieces at all. They should not sedate you. They should make you calm and clear. They're not going to take away your productivity. They will give you less urgency to solve problems for a little while. You'll say, that's okay. I'll handle that tomorrow. But that's the point. You take them at night and you'll feel refreshed. You can take these in a day if you have a hard time with her and her family and you need to focus, but you're buzzing from a project at work. If you have a really stressful family event or something like that, all of these are doable during the day as well. So I've talked quite a bit at you. What are your thoughts on this? Does this sound like something you'd like to experience?
Absolutely. Last time when you actually taught me about melatonin, right? I was in a much worse state back then, but it gave me some much needed sleep.
Yeah. Melatonin, a lot of avoidant men find melatonin and it's like, whoa, it feels so good. And that's what your brain should be synthesizing on its own. If you take this stack, it will synthesize its own appropriate melatonin that will not leave you with a groggy feeling the next day. You will not feel sedated at all that night. Everything will flow perfectly in. You're going to fall asleep faster. You're going to stay asleep longer. You're going to wake up fully refreshed and calm. You're going to have more REM sleep, dreaming, and probably better dreams because you're feeling good. Most avoidant men report bad dreams mostly. This will encourage you and give you positive
I need to
dreams.
tell you about the dreams. It's crazy.
Right. And when you take magnesium, as you start doing the REM cycles, your brain's going to get pretty crazy. So just be aware of that. But as you take this stack, your REM sleep and your deep sleep will improve. So you're going to generate a lot more serotonin. You're going to feel a lot more content. Most guys are afraid this will take away their work edge. No, if you're working, what you're probably doing is making a tremendous amount of mistakes and then going back over your work again. So you're spending hours a day redoing things or hours a day trying to shove through a project that should take you 20 minutes. It takes you 3 hours because you're so tired and fried. This will make you more productive. So you're going to work faster. You're going to reduce your mistakes. You're going to have a higher quality of work, higher quality of life, sleep better at night. Every day you're going to wake up. And then by the end of the week, when you go see your girlfriend, you're not going to look like a walking corpse walking in to meet her and her family. And they go, oh, who are you? You're going to walk in feeling refreshed and calm. And you're happy to see them and they're happy to see you. And now you're ready to fully engage. And then you shouldn't fall off that cliff when you drive home or when you have Monday night either. That should all level out. This cocktail right here, it's one that I like to, when avoidant men come in, I mention these to them. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't say, I don't prescribe them, but I mention these to them. And I say, if you want to feel what it's like to feel loved and calm and have your nervous system steady and feel what it's like to have a non-avoidant brain for a while, take these supplements for a couple of weeks and you will feel what it's like to be a calm, securely attached person with a family that loves you, a good partner and good friends, and then you'll be able to immerse with the people who are around you. This cocktail is transformative for most avoidant men because they finally feel the feeling and now they know what to aim for. So I might recommend that you give it a shot. It has benefited me during my travel times.
Perfect. Okay, I will try out the Adam Lane smoothie.
Adam Lane smoothie. We're gonna have to come up with a name for something like this. A lot of people ask me for supplement stacks, so that's one right there. The Avoidant Man sleep stack or something like that. We'll have to call it, but that's okay. I get asked all the time, what is my attachment style? What is my attachment style? What is my attachment style? So I have finally launched the attachment assessment. This is not a short quiz that just spits out an answer after 3 seconds. This is a thorough, in-depth, science-backed assessment. Check it out on my website, adamlanesmith.com, and learn your attachment style, the severity of what you're dealing with, and some next steps you can take right now to build very secure attachment.
I know this is going to be very helpful for me because it's well known in the company that on Mondays, don't expect any productivity from Kimmy because it's always my worst day. It's just like I know that sleep affects me so badly.
Yeah.
I am I just can't think, can't work properly. I need to Monday night take my melatonin. I don't take it every day. I need to, ration it basically. But and when I take it, that's when I get like the very crazy dreams because and I know this is like okay, I'm sleeping for the first time this
Yeah.
week and it gets crazy.
Yeah, that's what that effect is you're not getting good enough sleep most of the week. So the melatonin is when you take that, your brain is frantically trying to catch up on what it should be getting throughout the entire week. That tells me you're low on GABA, you're low on oxytocin, but you're also very low on serotonin, you're low on REM sleep. All of those things are linked to cancer, heart attack, stroke. They're linked to Alzheimer's. They're linked to all kinds of things. So we have to get you out of this. Not like you're going to get those tomorrow, but if this doesn't improve, your health is going to start taking a massive hit. It won't be don't poke the bear on Mondays. It'll be let's visit Kimmy in the hospital. So let's get you turned before that happens, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good move. So, well, part one, I'm gonna take all of these things you just mentioned and make my stack, and then two, I'm actually moving closer to her and her family, so I can have more time with her. We can work together. We can like I can have actual activities throughout the week to help me with this issue I'm having right now.
I love we're having this conversation because in some of our earlier conversations, it was like, what's the point of monogamy? Why does a man even need a wife? What does a woman even bring to the table? And now you're like, no, no, I need to move closer because I'm more productive. I'm happier. I sleep better. Like I need this woman. So this is the payoff that avoidant men are looking for with monogamy is high quality of life, rest, peace, all of that. One thing my avoidant men I usually train them to say, because you guys don't have very good emotional articulation language, is you go to the woman and you tell her things like, you feel like home to me. And you tell her that because that's ultimately what your system is doing. You go to her and you feel like you are resting at home. You feel like she is your home. You don't need a physical home. She has become that home for you. Does that resonate?
Absolutely. I have come to the conclusion that to all the avoidant men out there, hey, I was there myself. I was thinking the same exact thing. Why is it even like it doesn't make sense? Like why? I'm good. I've been good for the longest time ever. Why put yourself through all of that? And I have come to the conclusion that I actually got pinned in my chat with her because I need to keep reminding myself of it, which is life is worth living because of you. Like it's like the world was like in black and white. There are no feelings. There are just the next project. And once you finish the next project, you're like, I don't feel anything. Yes, I get some exhilaration from the hunt of the next, but there is no fulfillment. Why am I doing all of this? I'm making more money this year, making more money next year. So what? What are we going to do with that money? What's the point? And now everything has shifted. It's like there is color everywhere, there are feelings. It is scary, it is new, but there's also happiness. Like, and I feel really bad when I talk to someone who's avoidant now because it reminds me of how I felt back then. You're lonely, 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 even when you're around other people. You might have people around you that you call friends. You might have people around you that know you and check on you every now and then. Even your own family, your dad, your mom, they ask about you. You call them on holidays and all of that stuff. But is that really life? Is I feel like I'm saying all the stuff that you said to me in like the last two episodes, right? It makes sense now. It all makes sense. Like it was words before, now it's color. It's not even like feelings, it's color, right? All of these feelings make life like I put one of my goals for like the next 20 years. Live life. It's just not worth it without all of these things we're talking about. It's really not worth it. Like I can sacrifice money now to get happiness because I understand happiness. It's not like just like a theory out there that people talk about in movies, and like it's not that anymore. I have encountered it, I have experienced it, and I have loved it, and it makes everything make absolute sense. If you have enough of it, you're gonna be I put like a comparison in my head of like the avoidant man continuing his life and on his deathbed, probably not by 80, but let's just say 70 and be optimistic, right? Um, and he will be miserable. He will feel like he hasn't really done anything. He has got all the money in the world and absolutely nobody around him but people he has worked with who think he might be nice. And then the other Kimi, okay? And he is 80 on his deathbed, hopefully has a kid or two, and he is happy because he has experienced things and he has um, spent his life in enjoyment with other people around him, seeing them happy, seeing them grow, seeing them getting fulfilled. That's the life I want, and that's the life every avoidant man should keep in mind, because it's hard. It's hard when you're there and you think you're doing the right thing and you don't know better. You might have a girlfriend who's trying and you think she is trying to get you to change. She What is this emotions thing she's talking about? It doesn't make any sense. You're good. You've been good for the longest time ever. Why change? What is this feeling thing? It's a woman thing. It's not supposed to be something that we dabble in. Not at all. I know. I know. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Watch one of Adam's videos. Trust me, it will make everything worth it. It's just not worth it to live like that. It's not.
You know what's even funnier? Let's deepen this divide. Old Kimmy, the research shows that most avoidant men, so old Kimmy, was going to die at probably at 55 of cancer, heart attack, something like that, some horrible debilitating medical issue that your immune system just dies on you. Your system dies around you. And you probably have a girlfriend that you'd been dating for 3 months who would just like check out, nope, at that point and back off. And you'd end up dying alone in a hospital bed for 3 or 4 months. And then you're gone. Then you spend all your money during that time. There's no one to say goodbye or even mourn you. And that's how most, unfortunately, a lot of avoidant men meet their end is alone, massive medical issues, spending all their money frantically trying to save themselves, and no one left to care. Now, new Kimmy has avoided all that. New Kimmy, actually, the research shows you're more likely to live, yes, until you're 80 or even 90 because you've got a loving partner who cares for you, but are also improving your immune system. So improving your immune system and improving your everything in you actually boosts your life expectancy to 70, 75. And then having a truly loving, fulfilling, intimate partner boosts your life expectancy by another 5 to 10 years. So you're probably looking at 80, 85. Now, what's phenomenal, you're probably looking at kids, grandkids, great grandkids that you've worked together and built this legacy that you get to watch them grow and thrive. And then when you do pass away, your wife is likely to outlive you by another 5 to 10 years. Now you transition your legacy to your children, maybe your oldest son, how it works where you are. You transition your legacy to your children, but she is there to oversee that so that when you pass away and they say, dang, I have to do this thing without dad for the first time. What would he do if he was here? They go to her and she says, oh, your dad was an incredible man. Let me tell you what he would do at this moment. And she carries on your transition legacy for those kids to fully transition them into life without you. And now they're thriving and growing without you. So when you pass away, you're surrounded by a family you know will make it without you. And they've got everything they need, and they honor and venerate you as the patriarch of the family who has led them and given them real life. That's the divide we're really looking for. Alone in a hospital bed at 55 with no one who cares about you, and a thriving family legacy to carry on forever. That's the difference. And yes, you get to feel better during the meantime and have lots more fun and connection. But man, a life versus not a life at all. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I absolutely feel it. And it's also like a part of all of this is um again talking to what I know best, which is avoidant men. It's not like you're gonna get a lot of people who will have the understanding and the willingness to love you, because it's hard to love someone who can't give it back at the same level. So when you get the chance and you do actually get someone who loves you, it is very precious. Take care of that in any way you can. Your partner will, even if they are good enough, they will even understand that you're trying. You might not be perfect, but they will see that you're trying. There are multiple ways to do that. Can be some of our avoidant ways, right? We can, some of the ways we show care is maybe by doing things for them that are practical, but in our heads, we are helping them. They would understand that. Do everything they can and be open. Uh, and a message to all the women out there that are with avoidant men. The biggest, I loved one of Adam, one of your, I don't know if it was a live stream or a YouTube video, but I saw something that you put out there on how to talk to an avoidant man and without telling him he's avoidant, right? Um, when you are in your avoidant state, as a man, you're extremely suspicious. It is crazy. It is wild. Like just to an it's unbelievable the degree of like suspiciousness we are in, right? Something that really, really, really helps us is seeing the good in us. And if you're an ethical avoidant, it's like you know you're good, but you need someone to tell you, don't worry, we see that you're good, you're not bad. And that can break us, that can literally break us, seeing someone who tells us that, because sometimes we think that, hey, maybe we're just born this way. And it's not true. It's just like Adam says, it's something that we grow up with. Most of us just didn't, I didn't have hugs when I was a kid. I just didn't have that. And it like, imagine someone who didn't have a hug since they were a baby. How are they gonna grow up? This is to be expected. Of course they're gonna be avoidant. So having like, being understanding, and I'm not telling you to like not do something about their being avoidant, but understanding what they're going through and talking to them about you being like, I understand the good you're doing. I love that you are so caring. I love that, the small stuff you do to take care of us. One of Adam's best lines that I heard him recently say was like, talk positively about the good things that come out of being avoidant and work with them on how they can meet you and fulfill your needs. Like, it gets really hard when when you're focused on a project on something and I can't get through to you. Can we work on that? And when we're avoidant, we are extremely logical, like to a stupid degree. Sometimes logic is not the only solution, maybe not a solution at all, but use logic with us. It's really helpful. Um, I have been blessed and lucky to have a girlfriend, now fiance, that is very understanding. And you know, eh, you know this, but it is for an avoidant man, it is extremely rare that you get to feel that you're being loved. At least for me, that was like, I just didn't know you could feel that. I didn't know that was on the spectrum. Right? It's such like a feeling that is first of all very scary, makes you very suspicious at the beginning. What does she want from me? What is she looking for? She wants something back. What is it? Is it my money? Is it my looks? Is it because I'm so funny? Is she just tricking me? Like, it's, I don't know. You have an idea, of course, but it's wild. It's really wild. And there's like this layer of stupidness that is just, you're covered in it. It's a blanket, and you just can't take this blanket off no matter what you do. You have to go like through month of just its brutality. It's just it's crazy. Like, you have to go through this incredible period and just bear through it and work through arguments and like, I had to reach a point where I had to believe that my partner saw the best in me. They don't want anything out of me but just love back as they love me. And it's just mental work. Every time something happens, she loves me. I know she loves me. We have been through this at least 3 times now. Talk to her. Talk to her. Talk to her. And we have become like this. we have been doing this for, like I said, like multiple, every situation, a lot of the situations we have been through multiple times now, that we kind of go and, hey, do you remember when this happened last time and you reacted this way? What do you think would be a better way? How do you think would be a better way to react to this way? I know I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We all make mistakes, and I've been better than last time. Uh, how do you think we can get through this? Reassurance has been like a huge game for both me and her. Sometimes you just feel hurt. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical, but you just need to talk through it. Give reassurance, even if, like, one of the things that my fiance sometimes talks to me about, and it's not like a situation we can do much about right now, and it's just time spent together. I just told you, like, my favorite time ever is with her. I would love to spend every minute of every single day with her, even if it's like I'm just working on my computer and I can do like this and see her working on her computer. That would be much better than what I'm doing right now.
You know what's so funny? So many women out there ask me, how do I get him to marry me? And do you hear what's happening right now? You're like, what you're not saying is, I can't wait till we get married so I can spend every day with her. I'm just going to have her strapped to my back while I'm working so that she can just hug me all day and I never lose this feeling. You're looking forward to marriage. As an avoidant man, you're like, bring it on faster. That's incredible. When are you guys actually getting married? When's the date? So I know.
Not this year, but next summer.
Next summer.
So about a year.
About 1 year. So you've got about 1 year through this state to continue this process. So you're going to need supplements to get through. Conversations. How much during the week do you get to talk with her? Do you get to set evenings aside, a half hour, 20 minutes even on your work days? Do you have 20 minutes on a lunch break that you can talk with her? Anything like that?
Yeah. Like just before this call, I talked with her for an hour.
Okay. This is good. This is good because you can get your oxytocin fixed that way. Who else in your life are you also going to get this fix with? Because one trap avoidant men fall into quite often is like, okay, I found my one human. I have feelings with one human. That's all I need. I never need anyone else ever again. I will never have another feeling outside of that relationship. Who else are you going to have some emotions with? Male friends, especially. You're going to really need them. What male friends are you connecting with at that level? Nobody. There it is. There's the next step for you right there, is actually splitting from her, not emotionally, but I mean splitting from her as the only source, her and her family, and getting some male friends that you connect with. Do you know how to have a personal conversation with someone, or is everything still intellectual for you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
You can have a personal conversation. Okay. Pick one man, whoever it is in your life, and ask him for a 30-minute window where you guys talk, and then set it aside. Maybe you guys, if you don't know anyone there locally, maybe you set up a long distance lunch conversation where you say, hey, I'm going to eat while we do this. I've got a big old sandwich. You're welcome to eat too. You just shoot the breeze for half an hour and connect. Every Saturday morning, I do that with Andre. I've got an hour-long call where we kind of just like flop in our chairs on Zoom call, and we relax, we talk, we connect, we laugh, and we actually remember that we are good friends in that moment, no matter how far away we might be. He might be on the other side of the world, but we have that every Saturday morning, and that keeps me going so that I'm not solely focused just on my wife and kids either. So that gives me that deeper level connection too. You need to diversify your oxytocin portfolio a little bit. Can you pick one man in your life and do this with? 30-minute call.
Yeah. I think my brother is the best option for that. I think he needs it too. He's mini avoidant man.
Every man needs this. I mean, I'm going to say something slightly controversial, but men are supposed to spend more time emotionally connecting to other men than we even are with women, right? Yes, you have your mother, your sisters, your wife, your daughters, blah, blah, blah. But we men are supposed to be immersed with each other. And that doesn't mean crying with each other. It means actually sharing emotional connection and content and challenges and solving problems together. You're supposed to be emotionally integrated with the men even more often than you are with women. You're doing it backwards. First, you did zero with nobody. So I'm glad you've got her. That's beautiful and fantastic. Now we have to get you integrated the successful, correct way that you would have if you were a child growing up in a functioning, let's say, hunter-gatherer village, the way our brains are meant for. You would have integrated deeply with the men and grown up with boys and had these intimate family friend connections. You've been trained into the guided connection and bonding of manhood. You would have these intimate, deep male bonds that would be thriving right now, and you don't have that. That's a big part of why you drop off during the week. You're supposed to be hunting and working with other men during the week. At night, integrating with your wife and family. Weekends, integrating with wife and family. You're missing the men in your life. That's what that tells me.
I just put a 30-minute slot on my calendar every week to talk to my brother.
I love it.
Should have done that a long time ago anyways.
I love it. Now, don't spring it on him. Avoidant men will go, hey, how you doing? You'll just like mysteriously call him every week at 30 minutes. No, reach out, tell him, hey, I need to be making more room for men in my life. You're one of those men. Surprise. You don't get a say in it. I'm going to call you every week. What's a good time for us to connect? We're going to talk about challenges that we're working on and overcoming. And we're just going to be men together for that half hour. Does this sound good to you? Let's be accountability buddies and reciprocate with each other. He'll say, absolutely. This day, this time, right? Build that connection. Don't just like kick in his door and surprise him once a week. And then, he doesn't know what's going on. Don't do that. That's the avoidant man way. Make sense?
No, I think he will love it. We have a very good relationship, and we lived together away from our parents for the longest time ever. So I think we did it. We just didn't have like a schedule so I think it's a good idea. Even for him, he needs it.
Needs to be official. We need repetition, we need rituals, and we need predictability. As much as people, especially avoidant men, are all about spontaneity. Everything has to be spontaneous with avoidant men. No, we need ritual, we need schedule, we need predictability. And then you add spontaneity on top of that once the minimum is covered. Let's get the minimum covered first before we worry about the spontaneity. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
I actually had a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yes, about our favorite friend feelings. So we have talked about this before to a degree. And I seem to be falling in the same trap again. So let's say that my girlfriend comes to me, or my fiance comes to me with an issue, and let's just say that, hey, we haven't really had time to talk about the small things this week. And I'm like, what do you mean? We talked at least for 30 minutes throughout the last 3 days, and we make time for it. We prioritize it. And I keep asking her questions. Okay, what small things didn't we talk about? You asked me about what did I eat? And it's the same thing every day. So we did that, right? And then we come to the point where she asked me, okay, what's your role in this conversation? And I'm like, my role is to help take that problem and make sure that it's not a problem, like kind of dissect it into smaller problems, and one by one we can look at each of them and say, this is not true, this is true, this is not true, this is true. Okay, the ones that are not true, can we do something about them? And she told me, yeah, what are you doing? What is this? What do you think we're doing here? This is not a finance project we're working on. Yeah, you're supposed to reassure me. And I'm like, okay, but reassure you about what if they are not true? Right? And we get into this conversation, and I don't know what to do.
This is classic. This isn't even just avoidant man. This is a male trap right here. Our brains are designed to find a problem and solve that problem. When a woman brings us what feels like a problem, we try to figure out what the hell the problem is, and then we try to solve it. And then, or we tell her over and over, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. So what I tell men is there is always a problem. There's always a problem. If you don't see the problem is something that's less obvious, and you need to figure out what it is, but there's always a problem. So don't ever say that there isn't one, because that will just piss her off. If she says, part of it's her phrasing, we didn't get time to talk about the small things this week. She's actually filtering that through an emotional lens. You did get time to talk about the small things that week, but arguing with her, what you're doing is suppressing the actual need she has. Andre, he has an amazing 9-point description of the communication cycle of how people miscommunicate. They have a need, then they have their language skills and their filter, then they have their attachment filter, and then here's how the words actually come out. Men take how the words come out and they run that through their own filter and say, that's stupid. But what you're telling her is your need is stupid. Okay. The problem that she's describing is not actually the problem, but there is a problem. It's a need there. Otherwise, she wouldn't have brought it to you. Her need and how she should be phrasing it is not, we didn't get time this week to talk about the small things. What she should be saying is coming to you and saying, I need some extra time with you this week. Number one, because I really want to feel close to you and I value that time. And number two, right now I'm feeling a little bit down for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but my system's feeling down and I need additional support. Can we slot 30 minutes to talk? That's what she should be saying to you. Then your brain goes, oh, your system's down and you're lonely and you need 30 minutes. I can do that. So she should be bringing things to you more productively, but you also need to learn to see the problem beneath the problem. I'm not saying mind read. I don't think men should have to read a woman's mind. That's inappropriate and wrong. It's not doable. But what you should be doing is understanding that there's always a need behind what she's saying. And it's usually to bond with you and get a little bit closer. You now understand what she's feeling. What she's doing is coming to you when you're on Monday, when everyone says, don't speak to Kimmi, he's going to hit you with a stick, right? She's feeling some elements of that herself. I don't feel good. I feel empty. I feel lost. I feel frustrated. I feel unhappy. And then she thinks and her brain says, did I get time with Kimmi this week? It's kind of like, did I take my vitamin? Did I remember? I feel really faint. Did I take my iron pills or am I anemic right now? And her brain is going to filter it emotionally and say, no, we didn't get enough with Kimmi this week. If I really got enough with Kimmi, I wouldn't feel this way. And you're like, we had 7 hours yesterday. But no, her brain is going to filter it and say, I didn't get time with you. It's not a logical, don't argue with the logic piece of it. Look at the need. Okay, she's feeling how I feel on Mondays. She's asking for extra time, I think. So what I do when my wife brings these things to me too. Adam, we really haven't had much time lately. And I think, I just took you on a vacation and we just had like 3 hours and we just went on a date. And I think that, and then I stop and go, okay. And I look at her and I say, are you feeling lonely right now? Are you just feeling kind of disconnected? And she goes, yeah. And then she'll mention like her cycle of the month, what time it is, or she'll mention like she didn't sleep, she's lonely, or she had a hard moment or something, and she's coming to me for love and connection. And I say, okay, what do you need? How much time do you need? I will make time in my schedule for you. I'm happy to spend it with you. What do you need? How can I help take care of you? And she goes, oh, that really helps. And then she'll like, I need 30 minutes. Can we do 30 minutes, at lunchtime or something? Yeah, no problem. Start asking her, what do you need? When she says, we didn't get time this week to talk. Okay. What do you need from me? How can I help you? You say it in a loving way. I want to take care of you. What do you need? How can I help? That's a great way to start fishing out the problem that she's not actually mentioning to you. So can you make that mental switch yourself, and then can you start using that phrase with her?
Yes, I think it correlates really well with something you said previously, which is like when your wife or fiance or girlfriend is talking to you and you assume it's nagging or she is criticizing or attacking, what critical information is she giving you right now? Right? That's exactly what you said, and it made a lot of sense to me, which is what she's saying right now. The language, the words are not what's actually behind this. I need to ask more questions. It's just the way I handle it needs to change, so she doesn't, because she takes it as like you're attacking my needs.
Can I share something with you? So I just released a video course on building a secure marriage, the Secure Marriage Blueprint. And in there, I teach men how to function as a CEO in their relationship. And because most men don't have a framework for being a husband or a lover, but they can be a CEO. They can run a business. Can I share a little bit in there about how that works for you?
Please do.
Okay. So in this course, I talk to men about what does it mean to be a CEO? Well, if your wife is, for example, your chief operations officer, she's not your assistant. She's a co-executive, but she's bringing concerns to you. As the CEO, if someone knocks on your office door and walks in and presents a problem, you don't say, That's not a problem. Get the hell out. You don't say that to your executive officer who's responsible for maintaining the business with you. You say, I don't really get it. Can you explain it in a different way? I'm not understanding what you're saying. A CEO's job, probably half of a CEO's job, is just asking questions. You ask questions, you clarify, you try to understand, you get people to make smarter answers. You never read minds. You start asking deeper questions and probing. And from the answers you get, you ask additional follow up questions. Then you ask what would help, and you ask what would fix it, and you ask what you can do. And at the end of all those questions, you make one statement about what you're going to do. And then you ask another question. How does that feel as a solution? Can we start implementing that? It's questions, 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 one statement, additional question. That is the pattern most CEOs will follow. They are endlessly asking questions forever. Half of it's being a detective. And that's part of that is being a husband as well, is understanding and clarifying. The more statements you make at your wife, the more you're going to lose. And both of you will lose together. The more questions you ask of your wife, the more you both get to win together. So can you start implementing that system for you and making more clarifying questions?
Yes, I love that model. When is the course out now?
Actually, it is already out. It's on my website, adamlanesmith.com. I'll send you a link after the show so you can get your copy. And that way you can go through it. You and her can actually take it. There's a premarital section of that course as well that I want you to watch, because it's how to set your marriage up in advance so that you can do it
Ooh.
successfully. Yes, because yes, it's good for couples who are on the rocks. Yes, it's good for couples who are just trying to improve. But there's a massive chunk in there for couples who are setting it up right for the first time. So I want you to be able to go through that and make sure that you're understanding how to build that system together.
Oh, I love that. Definitely, I love that you put that section in there because, great, let's fix our marriage, but hey, how about we just build it from the beginning the right way with, minimal bumps as much as possible. Uh, what else is in the course? Is there anything about like maybe finances and how to handle that or set it up from the beginning, that sort of stuff?
Finance is it's a big thing for avoidant men. I can hear the concern in your voice already. Why don't you send me a wish list and I'll add some bonus videos to the course. But no. There's an entire section in there. If one of you is a spender and one of you is a saver, for example, if you're having an argument about budget, who gets to set the budget and when and how? How do you craft those decisions together as CEO and COO? How would that run in a company? How can it run together for you as a family? So if you're wanting to set up a solid marriage that will last you a lifetime, I'm going to include multiple pieces in there about the finances and the decision-making process. Yes. So I already have.
I love that.
So
Yeah, I thought it would be in there if you mentioned like a CEO, COO model. It would then make sense. Hey, you're running a business together. Let's make it work in every department.
that's the thinking.
Perfect.
Avoidant men love
Awesome.
that model because avoidant men like you, great at business, not great in marriage. And when you just generalize the skill set you've already mastered into the relationship, you just quadruple your effectiveness inside the relationship instantly with one mental switch. Like you were talking to her, I'm like a baby with my emotions. You got to be patient. If we can make that jump for you and generalize your business skills into the relationship while still keeping it intimate, all of a sudden, boom, you are fully matured into the relationship and you're on her level at that point. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, I know our time is running out here, but I had one last question for you.
Go ahead.
And it is about marriage. I do have my fears that, my life has changed drastically in the last year. And in the next year, I'm going to be getting closer and closer to marriage. So, as someone who has been married for such a long time, what is the hardest thing about marriage?
The hardest thing about marriage is also the best thing about marriage. I'll be honest with you. It's that you as people will be continuously changing for the rest of your life. And that's usually what terrifies most avoidant men because they know they're going
That's
to change.
scary.
Yeah, he's going to change and she's going to change. And why would we get married now when we're going to change over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years? How could we possibly be the same people or stay together? And the point is that you're not supposed to be the same people. Now, what my wife and I have done to manage that is every single night we come back and we talk about our day. Every week, we come back and talk about our week. Every month, we have a meeting about how we're changing and growing, and we plan those changes together, and we update on how we have personally changed. And then once a year, at least, we get together and revisit old discussions, old ideas about intimacy or turn ons, about desires, about hopes and goals, about places we want to go visit, about how we feel about various things in our life. We have a big update and we learn about each other again. We are continuously learning about each other and exploring things together so that we don't grow like this. We actually grow further and further and further, closer and closer and closer. It's 99.99999999999 forever. We're not the same person, but we grow closer together with every passing year. And it has to be constantly renewed and a constant discussion. But I love those discussions with my wife. And she tells me afterwards, she says, "This is the closest I've ever felt to you ever." And I say, "You say that every time." And she says, "Yeah, but it's true this time." And every time is such a deep, refreshing moment for her and for me as well. So we are growing together. So that's how you, as an avoidant man, and your lovely fiance, that's how you don't grow apart through the years and dread marriage because it's doomed. You continuously explore and grow together, and it's fun forever. That's how you do it. Best and worst thing at the same time. Make sense?
Absolutely. We have actually been doing the weekly check-ins since you mentioned it to us. We have had that habit now going. Even if I'm traveling, we have been doing it religiously every single week, and it has been tremendously helpful to us. So I assume it's going to be also very helpful in marriage.
Absolutely. And here's a great tip. Weekly's fantastic. Once you start logging yearly anniversaries, use those anniversaries. Don't just go out to a restaurant and get really drunk and eat a lot of steak and then just go home and stare at each other. Use those anniversaries and say, in the last year, what has changed for you that's different now than it was a year ago? What turn-ons do you have now that I should know about? Is it this shirt? Is it not this shirt? Should I burn this shirt? Right? What is different for you sex-wise? What's different for you money-wise? What's different for you priority-wise? What's fun for you now that wasn't fun before? Give me an update on you and I will give you an update on me. Every anniversary should be a full update so that you're moving in the same direction and you know what's going on in their mind and their heart. Every anniversary should be this opportunity.
Perfect. Well, we got one in a month, so that should be fun.
I'm excited. Don't call me during the date, but afterward, call me if you get stuck and you need more questions. Let me know, or let me know before, and I'll send you some questions over an email or something like that. We'll get you going. But I really do believe you should walk into that anniversary, have an amazing dinner, and have a list of 10 questions, maybe Adam Lane Smith approved, about doing a full relationship update as of today. What's our relationship like? Okay. Actually, send me an email and say, "Adam, give me 10 questions that I can take on my date that we can answer." How about that? You want to do that?
Okay. But let's not tell her that I took them from
No,
you.
no. Hey, here's an avoidant man lesson. I went to a relationship expert and I asked how you and I can grow together for intimacy and love for the rest of our life. And he gave me these 10 questions. I am bringing them to you today so that we can go through these questions together and build an incredible relationship. And I'd like us to save these 10 questions and use them from now on. Now, this is not like, "Oh, you got them from someone else." I went to an expert. I used my social connections. I was proactive and I care about you so deeply that I have built us a ritual crafted by a professional. Here is what we're going to do. Make sense?
Yeah. Makes total sense.
Do you hand sew her the dresses you buy her? Do you mine the diamonds yourself that you gift to her? No, you have professionals do those for you, but you procure them for her and gift them to her. Same thing with me. I had a professional craft these for us. This is what we're going to be doing as a loving ritual from now on. Make sense?
Very well said. Yes.
See how your brain tried to hide it from her? You're like, no, she doesn't. Yeah. She'll think I wrote these, right? Live omission. She'll think I wrote these, and she'll be so turned on by my brilliance that we will. Right? Like that's the avoidant man's brain right there. And instead, you would have missed an opportunity.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Adam.
Good.
This is
good. I have to get her contact info just to make sure that you do.
This is such a wild journey that we have started here with the first episode, second, now third, hopefully, maybe a fourth when, when we're married. I think that will be a very nice way to tie this series off.
That would be an honor to have you back in a year and update and see how marriage is going. Absolutely. And don't hesitate to reach out to me ahead of time. Some avoidant men, even good, settled, happy ones, they find that it's a little nervous as they head toward the wedding date. Most of them that I end up working with, they're happy to head into it so they don't have second thoughts. But sometimes, the concerns get there. And then they say, Adam, what conversation am I missing? What should I be talking to her about that would calm this fear? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I don't have that issue, but who knows what could happen. I know both parties, like even women get like really nervous when it comes up to marriage. Everyone feels that way. So I thank you very much for your support, and God bless you, Adam, with the work you do. You're helping so many people, even with an episode like this. I know a lot of people watch this and they get hope, and this gives them an opportunity to feel like they're not alone. They can do something about themselves, just like I did with your help. Everyone else can do it as well.
I love that. Thank you for letting me share this with you, man. Share this journey. I'm thrilled. And thank you for sharing this with everybody here on the show. There's a lot of women listening that hope their man makes changes and thinks like you do. There's a lot of men listening right now saying, I want to transform and be like that. I want to feel that. So thank you for sharing this, showing that it's possible.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for all the help you're giving me and everyone else.
All right. Everybody out there watching this, I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Are you rooting for Kimmi? Say, hey, yay, Kimmi, we're excited for you. Do you have any questions about anything we went over here today? Are you skeptical? Are you hopeful? Let me know. And if you have those questions, please drop them in the comments. Me and my team will be rolling through there as well. We love reading those comments piece by piece. We just love them. It really helps. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell so you get notifications. Whatever system you're on right now, make sure that you are activating the algorithm so that we can spread this message to everybody who needs to hear it. And if you need any help yourself, I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. You can find me, my courses, my coaching, everything on adamlanesmith.com, especially that new marriage course. Make sure you check it out on my website. And I'm also at Attachment Adam on Instagram and YouTube with a ton of free resources for you on both of those channels. Make sure you come check us out. Send us a message. We're here to help. Kimmi, thank you for being here today. Thank you, everybody out there, for being here. We'll see you on the next episode of I Wish You Knew.